this offseason of college football, because now we go to an expanded playoff, and now we go to the Big 12 renaming itself the All-State Conference or whatever it's going to be. And now we have college football, video games are back and players are licensed. And now we're talking about a sea change of paying players and all of that. And so where do you fall on this type of new ocean that we swim in with college football?
Well, first of all, this is all the SEC's fault. I mean, you know that, right? I mean, this is 100% the SEC's fault, because it was, it was what, 10 or 11 years ago, the SEC gave us the first $5 million a year coach in Nick Saban. And everybody was like, are you kidding me? $5 million a year, $8 million, $12 million. Now you got $13 million with Kirby Smart. The SEC started stacking up the money that was coming from ESPN and CBS as far as the TV money that was coming in. They dominated 13 or 14 out of 17 national championships, whatever it was. So it was the SEC that took college football from being, isn't that nice? Look at that. Oh, yeah, Big Ten, that's good. Yeah. And it's a Southern thing, man, that whole college football thing. It took it from being, hey, we're giving you a $40,000 a year education. What more do you want? You got really cool swag. You get to eat at the training table. You have a beautiful place to work out. What more do you want? And the kids are like, well, you know what? Coach is making 10. We just heard that every SEC team gets $60 million in TV revenue. How about you break us off a little bit of that? So it's totally changed now. And understand, and you understand this, but this whole college sports thing, this is uniquely American. There's nothing like this anywhere else in the world.
That's right.
Canadian hockey players are not doing this. They're not. Soccer players go to college and play for good old State U. They go get paid when they're 16, 17. They sign a deal. They get paid. So we got to work towards that model. The thing that has to happen is in conjunction with whatever this pay is going to look like. And I still don't think it's going to be employee-based, because you just saw this past week, another judgment come down from Congress that, no, we're not going down that road in quote-unquote employees. But here's the deal. If there's going to be structured payment, they need a contract. They need a contract. You and I work under a contract. You know what I mean? Somebody is saying we're trading our services, but we are also binding ourselves to our employer. We're not willy-nilly every 5 minutes when somebody waves money in front of us jumping to another place. So somehow, some way, there has to be a commitment. Other than that, I don't think we talked so much about NIL the last couple of years. And when Toe met leather in late August in these parts, no one ever talked about it again.
That's right.
No one cares.
Right. Yeah.
They don't care. I mean, if fans don't care, they're not saying, oh, that's ruined now. They're not. There's none of that. The transfer portal thing is an issue, but the rest of it, I think, will sort itself out, and we're going to find a model. I do believe we get a breakaway. I think before my career is over, which is only going to be about another 5 years of doing this, I think before that happens, I think what will happen is we'll get 65 to 72, somewhere in there. We're going to settle on a number, and they're going to be different than the rest. And I think that I also believe that what is now the group of five, I think at some point they may have their own championship. I think they'll have their own playoff and their own championship, because these two things are totally different. I worked for Alabama doing pregame. I worked for Middle Tennessee doing pregame. They both call themselves Division I. They're not the same people. They're not even in the same universe. So we're going to have to stop fooling around, and we're going to have to split this thing up with those top 65 to 70 teams versus everybody else that calls themselves Division I college football.
Mm-hmm.